Australians, Kiwis, Aussies, everyone in the Southern Hemisphere. This article's for you guys. Everyone living in North America, and please pay attention to this, guys. It's really important. It's a really, really good article. I got it a few days ago. Unfortunately, I've been backlogged on so much going on. Betting on a house, betting on the house, or betting against the house. That's how I would say this article should have been titled. Let's read it. I'll leave a link below for you guys to read it below and watch the video. It's actually really good. Sorry, my camera keeps fuzzing out here. Betting on a house. Australia's real estate obsession driving us to the brink. I think it's a powder keg, investment consultant says. The statistics are startling. Australians are carrying more personal debt than ever before. For every $1 earned, on average, Australians have nearly $2 in debt. We hold the dubious position of having the second highest level of household debt in the world. Much of this stems from our obsession with buying real estate. Housing has never been rational in Australia. It's probably more akin to a religion or a cult. It's about faith. You're either a believer in property or you're not, says former banker. On Monday, Four Corners investigates the forces driving our debt-fueled housing boom and the risk it poses for the nation. I've been studying the market here for a good number of years, and I have never seen this perfect storm of issues coming together, says financial analyst. The program draws together key experts to map danger zones in the housing market and will reveal the Australian suburbs currently experiencing the highest levels of mortgage stress. It's a nightmare that you live with all the time. You wake up in the morning and you think, how much longer will we be living here constantly, says mortgage holder. Experts are warning that the wave of homeowners and property investors will be unable to cope if there's an increase in interest rates or change in their personal circumstances. Regulators have been tightening the screws in lending requirements, but there are concerns it's a little too late. All bubbles really depend on loose credits. That's one of the things that's really fueled the Australian housing market. Anyone with a pulse could essentially get a mortgage, economists and investment fund advisor. The program investigates that lending practices that have been driven the boom in residential lending and asks 10 years from the global financial crisis if the banks are prepared for potential crash landing. If there's a shock to the economy and potential leads risen in the sensitivity in the banking sector, the banks could in fact experience higher losses because the households are more in debt, ratings agency analyst. So I'm going to leave a link for this to watch the video if you guys want to. But let me put my 6 cents or my 2 cents or my 3 cents into this, or my name in the hat. Guys, living down under, I mean, there's really no, I mean, they're tightening the screws, but they're not tightening them like they're doing in Ontario and Toronto. If you read the articles, what they're doing in Ontario and Toronto, I think the politicians living out down under should take a page of what's happening in Toronto with 9 points or 12 points of changes that they did on the housing crisis there, and Toronto and the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, is heading for a huge tumble. London is in a huge crisis right now because everyone's just leaving London. Everyone's leaving the major cities. They're just like, you know what? It's not worth it anymore, and that's what's happening. So, I believe that if the housing market in Australia is normal, let's say, we're in a normal housing market, interest rates should be at 5.5% normally, right across the board. There shouldn't be any question or debate about it. If you're questioning and debating the interest rates and having to have them lower, then obviously we're entering into a huge Ponzi scheme. Like Max Kaiser always says, it's free money. Come and get it. And like the article said, if you have a pulse, anyone could buy and anyone could get into the mortgage market. But the problem is, You can't walk away from your mortgages in Australia, from what I've been told. Comment below if you know for sure. You cannot walk away from your mortgages. And if you can't, that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Who wants to pay for a house more? Who wants to pay more money for a house than what it's worth? Nobody wants to be underwater. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below if you're living down under. What's going on? And the crisis helpline. I have a friend that works at the crisis helpline that basically takes in calls on a daily basis from local Australians, and they're struggling just to get their mortgage payment. They're struggling to pay their cell phone bills. There's families losing utilities in the house. No water, no electricity in some parts because they can't afford to pay their bills. Let me know if this is happening to you, and if it is, or a friend, comment below. Let me know. Let's get some action going on with this. And if you have a camera or a phone like I do, please make your videos. Let's get some voices heard out there. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.